this came just after the announcement that we'd be increasing our troops from 40,000 to 300,000 as a NATO response to everything that's going on in Russia at the moment. And I think you're right to describe the mundane nature of this, because this is really what Hannah Arendt described in the context of Nazism as the banality of evil. This is a clear attack on civilians. It's women and children going about their daily business. And if you look at the footage of this that has been going around on social media, this shopping mall has essentially been razed to the ground. Yeah. And it really is, this has come just after more attacks on Kiev and on other civilian targets as well. Putin is behaving completely outside of the normal bounds of the ethics of war. Proportionality requires that you only attack targets that are of some kind of strategic importance. Attacking a shopping mall full of civilians going about their daily business has absolutely no strategic value in his war against Ukraine.
Except it's like prodding the bear with a stick, isn't it? It's like provocation. It's like, I mean, not only is it indiscriminate, not only is it designed to put fear in the hearts of Ukrainian citizens all around the whole country, do you not think there's part of it saying to the West, go on, what are you going to do about it?
There is an element of this that is really, it reminds me of countries like Iran, that this is a terrorist state, and Putin is using terror as an additional weapon in his arsenal to frighten the population of Ukraine into submission. And I think that the fact that, as you said, this is women and children going about their daily life, they've got absolutely nothing to do with this war whatsoever, nothing to do with the strategic objectives of Putin, other than to terrify a population into submission and to use the deaths of civilians as a way of sending a warning to the international community to allow him to take land that doesn't belong to Russia. And it's appalling and it's unethical.
Norman, the Telegraph are also running with this story, but they're also talking about how the UK needs to be ready for war with Russia. And at the same time, we had Lord Dannatt yesterday speaking to Parliament, talking about how we just don't have ground troops. I mean, we had much better numbers just during the Cold War. We're totally inadequately prepared for this sort of thing, even though there is a war going on in Europe at the moment. Do we have to accept that defence spending is going to have to increase during a cost of living crisis? I
think we probably do, unfortunately, because we've got a situation where there's been complacency over the last 30 years. We thought after the end of the Cold War that war in Europe was over, democracy had won, and that they were never going to be in a situation again where there was armed conflict in the continent of Europe, and that indeed was the formation of the EU was designed to prevent that occurring between Germany and France. And now we've got Sir Patrick Sanders, the head of the armed forces, warning about this 1937 moment that we are effectively, as a comparison, just before the Second World War. Emma's right. The way Putin behaves is completely immoral. There's no ethics whatsoever. He is a true heir of Stalin. If you look at how Stalin treated his own people, and indeed those who he came in contact with, Putin is the same. And this is very frightening. But it's not simply ground troops. Of course we need ground troops. And in order to prevent war, you have to invest in defence. Sadly, that's the reality of the equation. So we do need some troops. And I'm very worried about Sweden and Finland, who've made it very plain they want to join NATO, and they're not being allowed to join NATO by Turkey. But that leaves them very vulnerable in the short term to Russia when they're not part of NATO at this stage. So we do have a situation where we've got to get more troops. We've also got to think about what else is Russia doing, because Russia's busy attacking this country and the rest of the West through electronic means, through cyber war, through propaganda, through bots on the internet. I mean, in a sense, there's a war going on already.
Two things I just want to pick up on that. Just this NATO meeting happening in Madrid later today. Will Turkey be bought off in some way? I mean, they've done this before, haven't they? They kind of put the brakes on in wanting some kind of financial essential, some sort of settlement. But it shouldn't stop Sweden and Finland being accepted into NATO, should it?
Well, it mustn't, because if they're left vulnerable hanging, then that's a very dangerous situation to be in, because Finland's got an extremely long border with Russia, and Russia can have reasons, I mean, and lots of other reasons, but it can present a case where incursion into Finland is somehow justified. It isn't, but they could make that case. And, of course, Finland used to be controlled by Russia.
I just have a feeling that attack on the shopping mall yesterday is like Putin looking for an escalation of something. He knows the West is not ready yet for an army on the ground. I mean, NATO is responding and the British Army is responding as well. But it's like it was like an act of provocation to me, this.
Well, it was, and it's also, as I think Emma said, it's an attempt to terrorise the population at large. But what really, I think, is mind-blowing is the extent to which one individual, in this case Putin, previously Stalin or Hitler or whoever, or Mao Zedong, can change the entire course of history in a completely destructive way. And actually, they can't be stopped for a while. I mean, Putin, I think, has gone mad. I really do think he has. He's out of control.
Or either just evil, I think.
I was looking at a documentary about him the other night, and it was amazing to see him having dinner with Tony Blair, dinner with George Bush, dinner. There were just loads of people, and everybody was keen to backslap
all the
him
money
and
he was
hug
bringing
him.
into
And
the City of London with his oligarchs. I mean, they all wanted to be close to him.
Then there was a change. There was a change somewhere along the line, and I don't think you may be far wrong with him being mad.
On that note, can you see the G20 happening with him around the table?
Well, that's a very difficult situation, isn't it? Because if he's there, then, I mean, how can you sit around a table with someone who's behaving the way he does? On the other hand, boycotting it suggests that the G20 won't happen at all. So,
yeah.
I mean, the only other way is for the G19, as it were, to ban him.
I think they should, yeah, absolutely.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.